Listen, y'all, I got 3 minutes to get this out, okay? This is the Willing Woman. As you know, my page is called The Willing Woman, Well For You. And so willing women cry out for the wounded. They cry out for those that are in despair. They cry out for those that are hurting. And so God, I was 29 when God told me that I was a willing woman, that that's what he created me to be. And so I stand in the gap for women who are struggling to conceive, because I was a woman who was married for 8 years and did not have any children. When God told me it was time to divorce, and then he told me I had to remarry, I conceived within the first 30 days of being remarried. And so even in that though, I had to do the work. And so this is a prayer journal. It is a 40-day prayer journal about instructions for the womb. And so, but can I tell you, if you are not healed, if you are not whole, you cannot conceive. About 2 years ago, God told me, he said, I am done sending babies to wombs that are not healed. And what does that mean? That means the man is the planter and the woman is the carrier. Everything that is already in her, she carries while pregnant, which means that last night, God told me, he said, women are not even giving these babies a fighting chance because they're born with insecurities on them already, because mommies are not healed. They're born with generational curses and bloodline inheritance because she never dealt with that self-esteem issue. She never dealt with the favoritism from her childhood. She never dealt with the abuse or the neglect. She never dealt with the perversion. And so these babies are being born with all these things already on them. And so God said that, he said that you have to be healed and you have to be whole. Healed and whole is not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Heal means that the scar is covered up. Whole means that if I touch it, it's not going to bleed. It can't be punctured again. That even the scar, you can't even really tell that it's there because so much healing has taken place. That I know by shot, that every wound that you've encountered, that every tear and every break that you've endured, that thing has been sealed up and it cannot be repunctured. The enemy cannot use it against you again. He cannot trigger you with it again. And so here's the thing about a willing woman. Here's the thing. I can only give you the game. God gave it to me. I wrote this book in one day. God would not let me sleep until the prayer journal until that thing was out of my spirit and on paper. And so it deals with generational curses, bloodline inheritance through the word, through the Bible, looking at stories like Hannah, looking at stories like Sarah, looking at stories like Rachel and Leah. And so understanding what God is calling of you and from you. And this is actually one of the books that me and my husband has done, because every time I get pregnant, God sent me back to the book and he makes us redo a new one. Because in order to conceive children, you have to understand that every child is not the same. And they come with a different set of instructions. And so we're asking God to bless our wombs without understanding what we need to carry. And so I urge you to condition your mind in this season that if you're before God about children, you need to get back before him and see what he's requiring of you, what he's requiring of your spouse. You can find the book on Amazon. The Willing Woman is by Kiera Patrice. That's my name.